Miami head coach Anthony Noreen ahead of this weekend's home series against St. Cloud State. We will take some questions now.
Coach, first true adversity this past weekend up at Western Michigan, a couple of setbacks there. And you can kind of look at it one way or another of how the whole series went from a big picture. To me, I want to focus on the third period of Saturday night's game and the fight that the guys showed, down 4-0, getting outshot by a wide margin, but yet still had the tenacity to kind of come back. What did that kind of say to you about what your group is?
Yeah, I mean, I guess as far as specifically to that, something that we've made a major point of emphasis of, we play till the very last whistle of every game, and no different if we would have been up 6-2 at that point, down 6-2 at that point. That's something that, we're trying to instill and that our guys have taken hold of. So that is that a positive? Yes. Is that something to build and grow from? Yes. Now the next part is, I've got to have a better plan to and find a solution, not have us in that situation again. But man, what an opportunity for us to learn, of just kind of what went wrong, what went right, what we could get better on at specifically from that weekend. And we started attacking that right as soon as the game ended.
What was it that Western Michigan was doing that limited the offensive opportunities, particularly Saturday night through the first two periods?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we could talk about us, but a lot of it is obviously credit them. There's a reason that team won a national championship, and you look at the number of returners that they have, and obviously they're specifically good in their rink, and I think they were hungry coming off the previous weekend. So, again, full credit to Western Michigan. Having said that, I think there's a lot we can learn within our game, not just from how they played, but just how important at this level against a team like that, every detail and every layer of everything we do is. They make you pay. In hockey at the highest level is extremely unforgiving. So everything you do, not just in the moment, but leading up to the moment, in your practice, in your workouts, in every detail, like there's a reason that we put such a high emphasis and we have such high standards for everything we do around here. Sometimes it takes a weekend like that or a game like that to realize, okay, now we see it, we get it, we feel it. That's part one. Part two is learning from it and then applying it the next time you get an opportunity.
When you face adversity, when you get punched in the mouth, teams will either bounce back and that'll be a jumping off point, or they can go the other direction. Seems like, not in the locker room, but it seems like the character of this team is one that's going to be a building point from this point out. But what has the attitude been like in the locker room? Have they been ready to get back out there and ready to go like right away?
Yeah, I mean the great thing for us as coaches is that has never been questioned a single time this season. From day one of training camp to being down 2 goals multiple times over the course of the season, losing a game on a Friday night, responding Saturday, losing 2 games on the road, like the consistent is the attitude and the effort these guys put in, which again you feel like gives you a chance. Now I think that part is in place. Now it's on us as a staff and me as a coach to make sure we give them a little bit of a solution. Okay, hey, here's what went wrong. Here's some answers to that. Here's how we can be better suited next time we go out there and feed them. This is a hungry group. They want to get better. They want to learn. They don't want that to happen again. And they're willing to put in the work and do what it's going to take to not be in that situation. And certainly that's not going to happen overnight. But we've got a willing and a capable group that wants to learn and is hungry to learn and get better. And I'll say it a million times, they love this place and they got pride in what we're doing. So we've got to find the right messaging and we got to find the right detail to hit on. And the good thing is we've had 3 days of practice. We get another good day tomorrow, and you get a chance to do it on home ice Friday night.
Got a kid that's averaging almost a goal per game. The power play for St. Cloud's almost 33% on the year. Just what do you think it's going to take defensively from you guys this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, our sticks have to be really good. We can't put them on the power play. We certainly can't go to the well as many times as we have the last couple games. And, part of that is just learning. Like, the games are being called extremely tightly. Penalties that were not called last year are being called on both teams. So maturity is learning from that and then applying it. So we've got to do a better job of not going on the kill. That's number one. Move your feet, keep your stick down, don't put yourself on the penalty kill in unforced situations. That's one. And then 2, there's got to be a sense of pride when you go on it. Obviously, they're a good power play. Good. let's see what we're made of as a kill. And I think it's a great challenge where you've got to be good. You've got to be dialed in, and as a group. And that's not just the guys on the kill; that's the guys not on the kill. And those are always opportunities to get momentum, as we've seen for and against in some of these NCHC games so far. And special teams is massive, and it's been specifically in the games where we've had NCHC officials. There have been a high number of penalties both ways, and I don't think it's been unfair either way. This is our standard within our league and the way that it's being called. So we've got to adjust, and we've got to take advantage of those moments.
Just how has that amount of increased special teams play affected preparation, maybe getting a larger sample size to look at what your special teams looks like on both sides, and just what kind of impact do you feel like it's had on the game this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's had an impact in the way that the game is played, and maybe some plays that guys have been used to making over the course of their entire careers, or specific to in college hockey that they've been getting away with it. They're just realizing, like, and again, we've all as coaches have told our guys, and we've harped on it, and we've held guys accountable throughout training camp and early parts of the season in practice of, hey, you're not going to be able to get away with that this year. Sometimes it's like touching the hot stove. You got to learn it firsthand, and we've got to learn it quickly. It's not going to change. So that is on me to hold guys accountable, on us to continue to teach it and talk about it every day. And then again, for us, it hasn't necessarily been the worst thing, and that a group, a huge part of special teams, especially power play, is just continuity and getting to know, each other and your spots and getting comfortable in building that camaraderie amongst your group. Like, it hasn't been the worst thing in the world to get a lot of work in an area that's, in a league where chances are tough to come by and goals are hard to come by. Like, that's an area that you have to be good, especially in this conference. So, whether we're going on the kill or we're going on the power play, it's an opportunity. Kill, great. Let's go get it. It's a chance to steal the momentum. Power play, perfect chance to get the momentum. Like, that's the way we got to look at it.
An extension to the officiating and how tight they're calling it. Also, face-off circles, face-off violations seem to be increasing, and you can see some frustration by some of the players not exactly maybe knowing what it is they are or are not doing.
Yeah, and again, those are the two major areas of emphasis, and we've all known that coming in. It's gonna be the face-offs, and it's gonna be the stick penalties. And so I actually think that area, if you think about our first weekend at Ferris with NCHC refs to our weekend against Arizona State to this past weekend against Western, I would say that was maybe cut in half, if not more, of what those face-off violations centers kicked out on both sides. So I think the players have adjusted to that. They're going to continue to learn and adjust. And that, and again, the rules are the rules. It's like, it's no different than when we talk about, CHL players and pros. Like, you are not, if you can't change it, it is your job to adjust. And you have to adapt. And that is part of our lives here. And we've got to adapt, and we've got to learn it, and we've got to do it quickly.
About the general health of your team, you got over the last couple series, you've got some players back. David Deputy back. You got Walker. Bradley Walker was back this past weekend as well. How's the health of the team right now?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there is the style that we play in the league we play in. There are going to be constantly bumps and bruises, and guys that are pushing through. And like last weekend, we had a lot of guys that were pushing through things that, again, it wasn't. Were we making them vulnerable? No. Were they cleared to play? Yes. Could it have gotten worse? No. But was it painful? Absolutely. And that's part of being a hockey player. It's a physically demanding game, and it's a mentally demanding game. And we're kind of at that, that early part of the season where there's just a lot of guys pushing through things. So are we healthy? No. I don't think any team that plays hard is, or any team for that matter anywhere, is at this point. Again, great to get some of the guys back in the lineup, as you alluded to. I think, getting back in game shape and getting them, again, some continuity and some more play, because some of the guys that are coming back in, like, it's not like, they played in this league or played college hockey last year. Like, they're still getting used to the level. And again, that's why everything we do in practice, every rep, every day, every video session is important. But so are those game reps, those live reps, and whether, no matter what the score is. And that's also part of why we say play till the end, play our way, play the right way. Because it is, for a young team and an inexperienced team, that's a way to take advantage of the moment, is to make sure that we are doing it 100% of the time, and to our standards and to our structure. And I think we got some guys that got some valuable reps last weekend, and we've got to continue to do that.
And you're also in a stretch now of 5 straight weekends of playing, including a couple of big trips heading after this weekend, heading over to Ireland. How's the practice schedule? Kind of getting ready ahead of that, not looking too far in advance to going to Ireland next week, and then coming back and then going right out to Denver as well.
Yeah, the practice schedule is to correct what we can from Western Michigan and get ready for a really good St. Cloud team. We have not. There's been zero talk about Ireland or Denver or anything like. We got enough to worry about directly right in front of us, and that's the way we'll keep it. We get through the St. Cloud, then we'll worry about what's next and in front of us. And the big thing for all of this travel, and hey, it's great. It's going to be an unbelievable experience, but the main thing is the main thing, and the main thing is the hockey games and performing on Friday and Saturday night. That starts with St. Cloud, and we'll worry about what's after that.
We're here with Miami forward Doug Grimes heading into this weekend's home series against St. Cloud State. We will take some questions now.
Hey, Doug, this past weekend, kind of the first, adversity you guys have gone through playing against a very good Western Michigan team. What did you guys kind of learn about yourselves from playing in that series up there in Western?
I mean, we learned that, this is the best league in college hockey. So, obviously, they're returning national champs, and they play the right way, and they play hard, and they do it for 60 minutes straight. I think we had a couple lapses throughout the game where we kind of realized they were all over us, and we kind of, shut down a little bit. So just kind of realizing that, every little detail matters, and every little stick, every little stride you take makes a big difference. So I think just learning that and realizing how much every little detail matters in this league.
You could look at the first two periods on Saturday night and see lopsided. I think shots were 39-5, yet you guys came out on fire. What does that say about that third period that you guys played? Scored a couple of goals, played them very even in that third period. As you kind of move forward, what do you take away from that?
I mean, one, it shows that we're just as good as any team we play. We're right there with everyone. And then two, it shows the character we have in our room. We're never going to give up. There's a 99% chance we're probably losing that game going into the third, 3-4-0. But we still fought, we still played hard, we still played the right way, and we were playing physical, we were playing all over this, and it shows us that when we do those things right, we weren't thinking about playing physical or doing anything crazy. We were just playing our game in the third period, and we were able to play dominant and be a little bit better than we were the rest of the time. It shows that we just stick to our game and do the right things, and good stuff will happen.
I think when you look at the season as a whole, I think to the outside looking in, it would look like you're ahead of schedule as far as this building back this program. As you look back on this first stretch of the season and up until through last weekend, what's your big takeaway on how the team has grown since you got onto campus?
From day one, we knew the kind of guys we had. It was just a matter of getting it all together. And I think we've really realized how tight of a group we are and how good we can be. But also we've learned that little details and little things matter way more than you could ever think. So I think just sticking to our game, and these big pony guys in here going crazy. We have a lot of guys that really like to be around each other. It's just all about finding the details and finding smoothing a couple grooves out, and we'll be good.
All the guys have played a lot of hockey, but you've been through it as far as seeing college hockey and seeing sort of ups and downs throughout a season. And what do you take away, and how do you sort of bring the team together after the losses last weekend?
We talked about it from the beginning of the year that there's never going to be a time this year where we're just on the way up the whole time. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be ebbs and flows. And I think, coming out of the weekend, we obviously were not at all pleased or happy with the results or anything, but we knew that we're okay. It's not the end of the world. We had two games where we got to learn from it, right? We didn't just lose. We're gonna learn. So I think just taking that mindset of just let's keep getting better and don't let it take us down. If anything, it's just gonna get us, playing better hockey.
You came from another good league in Hockey East, right? But just through the first couple weekends of playing in the NCHC, did you notice any differences you feel like in terms of play style or anything like that?
Well, that's why I came to this league. It's a pro style league. It's big boy hockey. That's my game. And yeah, you notice it right away. There's no time and space when you get the puck. You got to be able to fend a guy off with your size or your speed or whatever you can do. And it's there's guys all over you, and it's just like how it is in pro hockey. So it's good for us to keep getting better and keep learning as we go.
What do you know about St. Cloud State?
They're a good team. They're offensive. We have to shut them down when we're in our D zone. We got to be really stern and strict and on pucks hard. And they're an offensive skilled team, and they also and just like any other NCHC team, they have some big bodies that can play hard. And we just got to be ready to take them.
Your game in particular, you're not afraid to try to win the battles right in front of the net, do the dirty work, get grimy, pun fully intended. But what about your game is it that you're most proud of that you're most happy to showcase?
Just the amount of compete I have. Like no matter what, it's me versus the guy in the different color sweater next to me. So I just love that I'm always, no matter what, there's guys that are more skilled than me. There's guys that are this or that, but I always know that I'm gonna be just as, if not more, competitive than the guy next to me. So I know that I don't know. I like that I'm always all over the ice and all over guys, and I try to bring an element to not only help our team, but get other guys to kind of play that way too and get them into the game and playing fierce.
One last thing, just you came from Boston University. I'm guessing you know the history of Miami and Boston University a little bit. What was your thought process to get here to Miami? What sold you on coming here and transferring here outside of wanting to play in the NCHC?
Yeah, I've said this since the very beginning. The first time I ever talked to the coaches, it was character, compete. They say it probably all the time in their interviews too, but it's from top to bottom. It's our mission and it's our goal is to be the most competitive and have the highest character guys, and that's kind of something that I know, like I just said with my compete, that's something that I always bring, and I try to be a good person, around the rink and outside of the rink and whatever, and I think everyone on our team is very similar in that way. So just being around guys that are like-minded, that are focused on the goal and not really focused necessarily on themselves that much is, that's the biggest thing for me. Like playing as a team, there's nothing better. Winning as a team, nothing better. Losing as a team, still nothing better. You'd rather do that than, I'd rather do that any day, lose as a team, win as a team, than have individuals kind of on their own page.
And speaking of that, you got so many individuals on this team that came from so many different styles of hockey. You had the CHL guys, playing Canadian juniors, U.S. juniors, a lot of transfer guys on here as well. How does that whole kind of melting pot work in the locker room? I mean, leadership skills, like you can obviously see you've got those.
Yeah, I think the coaches do a really good job of, especially right from the start, setting the standard of this is how we do things. And I think they did that in the recruiting process too. They weren't recruiting guys who were iffy about, maybe I don't want to play that hard. They were like, if you're coming here, you're playing hard. So I think coming in, everybody kind of had that mindset that they had to have that way about them. But then obviously once we get here and it's hammered and continuously, we lose, we go back to day one. What do we talk about? Good sticks, compete, doing these things. Do we do those? Not really. So it's, just we know what our foundation is. We're kind of trying to build on it, but just knowing that foundation is there and knowing that every big guy can come back to a baseline level of compete and being a good teammate. And kind of from there we can grow and get better. And we've been doing it and we'll continue to.